went live with a few other cast members from this season. Karrington was on the live. Felicia was on the live along with a few of her family members. And Bonita popped up for a brief moment. And a lot of people are in and out, but they opened up about a lot of what happened this season and what happened behind the scenes that we didn't see. So let's get into it. And I do want to let you guys know, I did record about like an hour of the live. About a half hour of the live I have, and I'm going to react to tomorrow, and we're not going to talk about that part in this video. But the second half hour of the live, my kids ended up walking in while I was recording, so they're in the background making noise, and so it's not usable to react to, so I'm just going to talk about everything that they said in the second part. First, let's talk about some things that Kayleigh had to say, because it was her live and I feel like she shared the most tea. So remember that scene where her mother threw the water on Michael's mother? She revealed that the producers are the ones that told her mom to do that. And then I guess, remember when she threw the hot sauce on Michael? After she revealed her mom threw the water, the producers told her to. This girl was like, okay, so the hot sauce scene must have been something the producers told you to do. And Kayleigh was like, yep, you're right. So the producers were telling Kayleigh before she went on that date with Michael, you need to throw something at him. You need to throw a drink at him. And Kayleigh was like, okay, if I'm going to throw something at him, I want it to be something hot. I want to find the hottest thing on the menu. So she got the hottest hot sauce she could find. And she said she only had to film it in one take. She made sure she poured it on him real good. She did the one and done. And she said when she poured the hot sauce on Michael, she had no idea that he was going to have to sit there in the hot sauce for an hour afterwards before she finally did take him home. And remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but if you follow me on Instagram, I posted this picture where, remember when her and Michael got in that fight after she threw the hot sauce on him and she left him? Well, if you look close enough when Michael's talking on the phone, you can see her Jeep in the background, and she admitted that was indeed her. She's like, yeah, I didn't want to drive too far. I didn't want to waste my gas. I was already driving a lot for the show. So she's like, yeah, I did park back there. And she said she did come back and get Michael, and I guess when she dropped him off at the halfway, he like threw his shirt off and threw it at her, and she kind of got smart with him, and she's like, I don't know why you're throwing that at me, because that's the only thing that you paid for since you've been out of prison. Also, like, I've heard of the producers making cast members wear certain things, like during confessionals. Not like so much wearing certain outfits, but like making them wear certain colors. Like, I heard they don't like when cast members wear black. And that's one thing I noticed, like Melissa, for example. She wears black every single day of her life, but she never wore it in her confessionals, because with TV producers, a lot of times they don't like people wearing like black or whites because they can make them look washed out. Well, Kayleigh said that the producers were trying to run how she looked from her makeup to the clothes she wore. So apparently they made her wear green and blues all season. They're like, this is what you're going to wear. This is what we decided on. So that's why we saw her wearing green and blue like in her confessionals. And they made her wear the red lipstick that she wore all season. Like, yeah, we had this whole vision of how we want you to portray yourself. We want you to have the red lip. And Kayleigh was like, I don't like wearing a red lip because I got really pale skin. You know, I feel like it makes me look bigger. And she said that she felt like the producers kind of did it to be shady, and they did it so people would talk about her, because she said looking back, the red lipstick did make her look even bigger and paler on the TV screen because of that. And I guess they were trying to tell her, hey, we got these shirts from Target. We want you to wear this shirt during your confessional or during this scene. And Kayleigh said she had to tell them a few times, I'm sorry, I can't wear what you're trying to get me to wear, because she said some of the outfits they were trying to push on her were ugly as hell. She said like one outfit was like this green outfit that looked like she just got back from a convention, and she's like, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna wear this. And she said that all the clothes that the producers were trying to get her to wear, they all had the tags on them still, and they told her, yeah, if you wear this, just make sure you don't take off the tags. So it's like, okay, you guys are gonna go try to return that afterwards. And now it kind of makes sense, because I know there's been a few times that I've caught things on videos. Like, I know Monique, for example, in her last season, in a scene with Titus, there was a scene where you could see the tag on the back of her shirt, and a lot of people were like, okay, she must be about to go return that. But now it has me thinking, is that a shirt the producers gave you? One of those shirts that they're gonna go return? Kayleigh asked the other women on the panel if the producers did the same thing with them, and Karrington said no, they didn't try to control my makeup. I would just show up with my makeup already done. And Kayleigh said no, they wanted me to show up, and they wanted to do my hair, do my makeup, pick my outfits out. And Karrington said a few times they tried to pick out her outfits, but Karrington was like, no, I'm not about to wear this. And she said she sent them from some Fashion Nova links, and she's like, this is the kind of stuff I'm gonna wear if you're gonna get clothes for me. So they just had her wear her own clothes. And Felicia said there's a few times that the producers were trying to push certain outfits on her as well, but she said she turned down the outfits that they're trying to get her to wear. And then Kayleigh said that they would feed her lines here and there, and then she said, you know, it wasn't like they would tell them what to do, but there's certain times to be like, hey, yeah, we want you to say this sentence. Kayleigh admitted the time where Michael went off on her brother and was like, see you later, nose ring. She said that the producers wanted them to fight, and that was a line that Michael came up with himself, and they were all laughing about it afterwards. And she said that's just how they were. All her family, like her brother and her other family members, like to joke around with each other, and that's just the type of people they are. And then Karrington spilled some tea. So she said that she applied, and it actually took a while to hear back from the producers. And she said when they reached out, she was originally not supposed to be on Love After Lockup until the next upcoming season, which is probably going to be like a year from now. She admitted that the producers knew up front that Zay was not going to be getting out until the end of 2026. So this whole storyline, him calling and saying, oh, I found out I'm not going to be getting out, and her finding out about the disciplinary reports. I'm sure he still had disciplinary reports, but her and the producers already knew he wasn't going to be getting out. And apparently, last minute, right before this season, they started filming for this season, they called her and they're like, hey, we need to find someone last minute. So yeah, we decided we're going to bring you on this season, not the next season. So they told her like, hey, well, you have days to get ready, and they came out and started filming with her. And she said that she tried to back out of it, I guess, when they did hit her up, but they were really pushing her, and she decided to finally do it. But she said that she told them, well, Zay's not going to be getting out. And she said, yeah, I keep hearing people say, why was I on this season? And I was one of those people saying that, because I'm like, man, she's taking up a spot that another couple could have had for a couple that was actually getting out. She should have just been on the next season of Love During Lockup. And she's like, I feel you guys. I feel the same way. I don't know why I was on this season either. And she told the producers that, like, what am I going to do if he's not getting out? And they're like, well, do you have anybody else you're talking to? And she brought up a few people, and she said that the whole thing with London, I guess her and London weren't even flirting or anything like that before the show. She was just trying to find someone to film with. So she's like, hey, London, will you film with me? And she brought him on the show. And she said she was laughing so much when he was flirting with her, because she said that London has never flirted with her or said things to her like he was trying to say on the show, like trying to hype her up and call her beautiful. She's like, he has never talked to me like that before. So that's why I kept laughing like that, because she said it completely threw her off. Karrington said that the producers rushed the whole filming process and kind of just threw everything together the last minute. So what that tells me is somebody probably backed out the very last minute, and they had to kind of rush around and find somebody to replace that couple, and that's why they're willing to find somebody who wasn't even out of prison yet. And then Felicia was on the live, and she was asked about Rich and why she was always trying to find all these issues in her and Rich's relationship. And she said that Rich is actually a really great guy. She said she really has nothing bad to say about him. She said, look, he did lie to me a few times, but she said that she actually really liked him, and she said that she just wasn't ready to be in a relationship. She said, you know, she thought she wanted to get out and be in a relationship, but she said thinking what she wanted and actually getting out and experiencing life were two different things, and she had to find out for herself through experience. And once she got out, she's like, yeah, I need to slow down and just focus on myself for a while. She said, look, I just did a decade in prison, and she told Rich that, and he was understanding with that. But she said, look, I'm not going to close the door on Rich. She said, there's a possibility that I might get back with him in the future. There's a possibility you guys might see me and him on another season together. She said she would never say never when it comes to Rich, because she still really likes him and respects him as a person. And she just said that she has to focus on herself and have some time for herself first. And she said she's going to school right now to be an accountant, and she just wants to focus on her goals and living her life and finding out who she is as a person. And she said that in the future she doesn't know where that will lead for her and Rich. I can't remember if she said she's still with that ex-boyfriend or not that was in prison. She was asked if that was the ex that she was talking about when we first were introduced to her, when she's like, oh yeah, there's this ex that's crazy about me. That's not the ex that she ended up getting with after Rich. But I don't know, the way she was talking about Rich on the live and how she'd be willing to maybe get back with him again, it kind of makes it sound like she may not be in a relationship anymore. And it's like, it's also confusing, because if you're saying that you need time to yourself, then why would you jump in a relationship with another person after leaving Rich, if that's the reason why you wanted to leave him to begin with? And she acted like her feelings were real with Rich. She wasn't using Rich. And she said that it was her idea to get on the show. They actually both were excited to get on the show and had different reasons why they wanted to be on the show. I guess when Felicia was in prison, they all watched Love After Lockup. And Felicia said she would walk around the prison telling everyone, I'm going to be on that show when I get out. And she said some of the girls would give her dirty looks and roll their eyes at her when she would say that. So she wanted to get out and prove the haters all wrong. So that was her goal, was to get on the show. And she said it happened. And she said Rich was wanting to go on the show because I guess he had some music that he was working on, and he kind of wanted to push his music career, which I don't think we ever heard him talk about his music career, but it seemed like he kind of pushed like his whole training and everything he's trying to do for whatever he has coming up with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. She said a lot of her scenes with Rich were legit, and she said that she was asked if Rich was mad about her constantly bringing her family with her everywhere, and she's like, no, Rich actually liked it. He actually loved my family, and they would always joke around with each other. But I don't know, it didn't seem like he was liking it too much in that season finale. But that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I still have like a 30-minute clip of the live, like the beginning of the live, that I'll react to tomorrow. I'm just not camera ready, and I don't have like a full 30 minutes to react to that right now. So stay tuned for that. I'll react to that tomorrow, where they spill more tea and open up about everything. But let me know what you guys thought about what Kayleigh, Karrington, and who is the other one? Kayleigh, Karrington, and Felicia had to say in the comments below. And yes, Felicia did confirm that she is filming for that show, that network with Deontay and Zaria and everything. She said she's filming with that network, and she's trying to encourage Kayleigh, like, hey, would you get back on TV again? She's like, oh, hell no. And she's like, well, what about with a different network, like what I'm doing and what Deontay's doing? And Kayleigh said, probably not. She said that her experience on TV afterwards, it's something that she doesn't think she'd ever do again. And Karrington said the same thing. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and thank you so much for watching.